today we've got my first ever race this year, and actually my first race for a long time, my first race for probably about a year and a half. Obviously due to the coronavirus pandemic and due to Millie being born, and obviously the lead up to Millie being born, I haven't been racing, but I'm keen now. I'm still compromised. I'm still in a compromised position with regards to sleep and general life stress. I just want to try out, and this is what today's about. It's about going to a race, seeing where I'm at, and doing the best that I can, racing the best that I can. 69 riders, and I am rider number 58, so I am right at the back of the grid. I'm rushing this conversation a little bit because Millie's ready for a feed. I'm going to give her a bottle in a minute. The purpose of this video is to take you through a race day, all the way up to the race. So this is what I go through. This is my approach to a race. And hopefully this will give you an insight into all the considerations going forward. So far, it's 6:15, been up for 15 minutes. I've gone to the loo, I've had a pint of water to make sure that I'm hydrated, starting the day in the right way. I've just made myself a black coffee, and now I'm coming into the lounge because Millie's ready for a bottle, Becky's still in bed, and I'm going to give her a bottle very shortly. In the meantime, I'm just going to do a few stretches just to get me mobile and make me feel like more of a human being while I just read through the regs for today. And then feed Millie her bottle, do a little bit of work, and then I'll walk the dog and catch up with in a bit. I've just made a bit of a timeline here. My race is at 14:45, so practice starts at 14:20, and gridding starts at 14:35. So, like, working back, obviously, my pre-race meal wants to be about 3 hours before the race. So I'm going to have my pre-race meal at about 11:45/12. And I know it takes 2 hours to get there, so I'm going to set off at 11:30 to get there for 1:30. Wow. Breakfast this morning is not my pre-race meal. Like I say, my pre-race meal is later on at like 11:30, 12, and that's got the kind of main body of carbohydrates in. This morning's breakfast will have some carbohydrates in, but we'll actually be prioritising just general health and what I fancy over anything else. So I'm going to have a smoothie bowl because it's what I fancy. And that'll only be about 350 calories, but 25 grams of protein, some good healthy vitamins and minerals, and plenty of fibre to start the day. Smoothie bowl. I'd just like to remind you, this is not like a perfect performance breakfast. There's a lot of fibre in it. There's actually not that many calories in it, and it's not the type of thing that I would have like direct before a race. But it's a nice healthy breakfast. It's what I fancy, and I'm not racing till late this afternoon, so it doesn't need to be like, you know, absolutely on point, because that meal comes later in the day, which is what I've started to prep. So far I've just got some white rice, some peas. I'm going to add a can of tuna to that as well. So I always really like to get in a good, fairly longish walk in the morning, just to try and expose myself to a bit of natural light and get some fresh air, especially if I've got quite a long drive to an event or anything like that, or obviously midweek if I'm sat at the desk all day. You know, even though I'm racing later on in the day, it's just nice to get a little bit of a walk in early on in the day. Going for a walk directly after a meal does really help aid digestion, and that is proven as well. The act of walking just helps digest and assimilate that food more so than it would just sitting or being sedentary. So those efforts, it's definitely the type of session which suits your physiology, full stop, new paragraph. This is my bike while we're on. It's a TCX Advanced Pro 1 from a few years ago. I've got Ultegra Di2 on it with a single ring on the front. We've got a 38 plus minus single ring with Ultegra Di2 rear mech, 1128 on the back. Hope carbon tubs with disc brakes. And yeah, I've had this for a few years now, and it's seen me well. Okay, it is 11:30 and we are setting off at exactly the time planned. Just pulling out the drive now. We've got roughly an hour and 50 minutes drive to get there, and I have allowed for roughly 15-minute stop if I need one for a wee or a coffee or whatever it might be. Today is not a focus, today is just a bit of a race to see where I'm at and to see how the legs are, and to actually just push myself maximally for once. You know, a lot of the races that I'm going to be doing this year are a similar duration and a similar effort, so it'd be good to actually just see where I'm at and see what, you know, a race does to me. But yeah, for now we've got a bag full of food, snacks, drinks. We've got a bike in the back, obviously. We've got a bag with my kit in it. Another thing that I'll add as well is I am timing this event to get there exactly an hour before the race start. Now obviously for me that is actually quite a late arrival. Normally I like to leave it about 90 minutes, and especially a day like today where I've got a lot of clients who are racing in races before me, I usually like to get there nice and early so I can watch my clients race first. But it was one of the restrictions, COVID guidelines, to only arrive there an hour before the race, so it's a shame, but it's part of it. So I'm going to crack on now, get some driving done. Probably going to listen to a couple of podcasts or something while I'm driving, just to help pass the time. Hi there. Can I have an oat milk flat white, please?
We are taking over at
Nerves are starting to build now. About half an hour away. It's a long drive. I stopped about half an hour into the journey to eat my lunch, have a little wee stop and a stretch, and then carried on. Just want to get there now. And I always, no matter how prepped I am and how well I'm doing for time, I always feel like I'm in a rush when I get close to the event, because like I'm at that stage where the earlier I get there the better it's going to be for me, so I just want to get there now.
Go! Go! Once again! Once again!
We'll leave for practice in a minute, and then it's straight into the race. So this is where we leave you. Shades on. 20 pair signed tyres. Bike's ready.
and have a gel in 10 minutes or so. So that'll be in my back pocket. My drink will be in my back pocket. I'll wear an extra layer, which I'll take off just before the start. And we'll rock and roll.